My name is Major Problem. Now let's get to the root of the problem. In chapter 105 of the Holy Quran, we are reminded of the small birds, also known as swallows, martins, ababil in Arabic, which destroyed the elephant's march towards Mecca. In the name of Allah, the All-Beneficent, the All-Merciful, have you not regarded how your Lord dealt with the men of the elephant? Did he not make their stratagems go awry, and send against them flocks of birds? A small bird can crash the latest aircraft, also known as a bird strike. A small insect can block an aircraft's pitot tubes, which can lead to incorrect sensor readings. The Tejas, Mark 1 and Mark 1A strengths. So the Mark 1, 40 operational jets, no crash history apart from a fuel tank falling off in flight over Tamil Nadu. The Mark 1A, new avionics suite centered on the ELM-2052 AESA radar and UTAM AESA radar. DARE Unified Electronic Warfare Suite, externally mounted self-protection jammer, enhanced survivability, instrument flight rules IFR capability. Onboard oxygen generation system, expanded weapons suite consisting of Astra, BVRAAM and ASRAAM missiles, combined interrogator and transponder with digital map generator by Mission and Combat Systems R&D Center. Reshaped cockpit floor, looking at the strengths of the Mark II, enhanced range and endurance, payload of 6,500 kilos compared to 3,500 kilos for the Mark I, multi-sensor data fusion system which will include an actively electronically scanned array AESA radar, heavy weapons of the class of Scalp, Crystal Maze and Spice 2000, radar cross-section reducing measures will be incorporated in airframe design. A degree of frontal stealth can be achieved. Radar absorbent material coating and composites making up its skin. Twisted air intake ducts. Tailless compound delta wing configuration with a single vertical stabilizer. Close-coupled canards provide static instability, high control maneuverability, contributing to lift and reducing drag. Equipped with fly-by-wire systems to control instability. Aircraft health and usage monitoring system to integrate various sensors on board. Infrared search and track system and a missile approach warning system. Indigenous software-defined radio-based technical data link for secured communication and network-centric warfare capabilities supported by the Indian Air Force's AFNet Digital Information Grid. Night vision goggles compatible glass cockpit dominated by touch-sensitive wide area display placed in panoramic orientation and a wide-angle holographic heads-up display HUD system. Hands-on throttle and stick HOTAS arrangement with right hand on stick, left hand on throttle settings to ease the pilot workload. The Mark I weaknesses. Design originated from 1983 as the LCA light fighter aircraft. No combat experience. Slow HAL production output rates resulting in failure to meet delivery deadlines. Dependence on Indian domestic cavalry engine, but American GE 404 and the GE F414 by General Electric engine is being used. Currently 50 to 65% of the components are indigenous. Heavy reliance on imports from foreign companies and countries, UK, Israel, USA and Russia. Purchasing the GE F404 engine and Israeli sensors electronics at export prices results in less value for money. Lack of combat endurance. Single engine source of failure. Shortfall in meeting the engine thrust. Shortfall in meeting parameters such as weight of the aircraft and fuel capacity. Inadequate pilot protection from the front against 7.62mm bullets. Indian Navy's dissatisfaction in operating a single engine carrier-based fighter based on the HAL Tejas and eventually withdrew from the naval LCA program in 2016, leading to the HAL twin-engine deck-based fighter TED-BF project. Looking at opportunities for the Mark I, if HAL can make the production line more efficient, this will create a domestic aviation ecosystem in India to finally pave the way to design and produce more sophisticated aircraft. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited plans to set up logistics bases in Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, as well as Sri Lanka for marketing the plane in Southeast Asia, West Asia, and North Africa. Export orders to potential countries such as Sri Lanka, Egypt, Argentina, Australia, Malaysia, and the UAE. Weaknesses in Mark I are in the FOC and Mark 1A aircraft. Weaknesses in Mark 1A are addressed in the Mark II aircraft. The Mark II engine transfer of technology, GE F414 engines with initial batch supplied directly by GE, while the remainder to be manufactured in India by HAL under a transfer of technology agreement. Joint exercises with export potential countries. Participate in international air shows. Participate in Air Force procurement tender competitions. Target air forces whose fighters are approaching end-of-life technology or metallurgy. Drone swarm integration. And looking at the threats. Need export clearance from separate foreign supplier parts countries, UK, Israel, USA, and Russia. Countries which have poor diplomatic relations with any of the parts supplier countries, UK, Israel, USA, and Russia. Mark I and Mark 1A competitor light fighter aircraft. The Pakistan-China JF-17 Block 3 by the Pakistan Aeronautical Complex and the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation. The China FTC 2000G by Guizhou Aviation Industry Import-Export Company. The Chinese L-15 by the Hongdu Aviation Industry Corporation. The South Korean T-50 Korean Aerospace Industries Limited. The South Korean KF-21 Korean Aerospace Industries Limited. Italy M346FA by Leonardo, and the Russian Su-75 United Aircraft Corporation. The Mark II competitor medium fighter aircraft, the Chinese J-10C by the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation, the USA F-16 Block 70 or the F-21 by General Dynamics, Sweden JAS 39EF Gripen Saab AB, Russia MiG-35 by the United Aircraft Corporation, and the Russian Su-35 by the United Aircraft Corporation.